This is Chris McDaniels. Like, subscribe to TNW Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris McDaniels, and follow me on all my social media accounts. I'll be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my WWE Monday Night Raw, August 11th, 2025 reviews. So here we go discussing about tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. Now we kick off the show with the first segment of the night where we see CM Punk. He makes his way out there to the ring, and yeah, he starts talking about what happened at SummerSlam and all that, with Seth Rollins cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase and winning the World Heavyweight Championship from him by faking injury and all that. So yeah, that's what CM Punk was talking about there, and he was talking about how he's going to get his hands on Seth Rollins and how he's going to win back the World Heavyweight Championship. But then he gets interrupted by LA Knight. And then LA Knight gets in the ring and he tells CM Punk that he doesn't really have any issues with CM Punk. And he tells him that, that the big issue is that, CM Punk interfered in his match last week, costing him the World Heavyweight Championship by him getting disqualified. So yeah, that's what LA Knight was saying there. And he was telling CM Punk that he wants him to stay out of his business, and he needs to get in the back of the line and all that. And CM Punk was talking about he's going to get his hands on Seth Rollins and all that. And LA Knight was like, look, that's perfectly fine if you want to get your hands on Seth Rollins, and that's perfectly fine if you want to go after the world title. But he says that, he is going to get his hands on Seth Rollins first. And he says that, you know what, I got two things for you. He says that this is going to be pretty much tell him that he's going to give him his word, and he says you don't want CM Punk to pretty much ever interfere in his matches again, because next time if he does, there's going to be problems. But he says that he's willing to forget what happened last week on Raw. And then he tells CM Punk that number two, that, he's going to beat Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, but he'll give CM Punk the first opportunity for the World Heavyweight Championship, and CM Punk can be the first ever successful title defense that he has against him. So yeah, that's what LA Knight tells CM Punk, and then CM Punk was talking about he's the best in the world and all that, but then he gets interrupted by Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. All three of them comes out there, and Paul Heyman introduces Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, calling him the tribal thief and all that stuff. So yeah, that was pretty funny, because Bronson Reed has two of Roman Reigns' shoes, pairs of shoes. So yeah, that's what he got going on there. And yeah, he was pretty much getting all upset about what CM Punk did by costing him the tribal chief and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what he was saying there. And then he pretty much offers that, they can have a match tonight. And he says that, how about tonight in a tag team match, it'll be CM Punk and LA Knight versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed in a tag team match. And, CM Punk accepts, pretty much, interrupting LA Knight. And the LA Knight looks at me and says that, you don't accept for me. He says, I accept as well. So yeah, that's what he says there. So both of them's arguing there. But yeah, tag team match is now set up, and then Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed was going to walk away, but then Braun Breaker was ready to go fight CM Punk and LA Knight, but then he starts getting held back, and he says that you're 47 and you're 40, and both y'all combined is like 100 years old, and I can beat both y'all's asses. So yeah, that's what Braun Breaker was telling Punk and LA Knight there, which was pretty funny. But yeah, that's what happened. They're setting up a tag team match in the main event. But then after that segment, we get to another segment backstage where we see the Judgment Day backstage, and we see Dominic Mysterio bringing El Grande Americano backstage into the Judgment Day lair. And yeah, Finn Balor had a talk with him and all that stuff, and then Dominic was talking about he's the greatest luchador of all time, and that he's getting El Grande to help him out and all that. And Finn was like, you know what, go ahead and get him to help you out and everything, because so you can bring the AAA Mega Championship to the Judgment Day. So yeah, that's what he tells him there, because Dominic got a match at Triple Mania this Saturday in Mexico City. So yeah, that's what's going on there for the AAA Mega Championship. And yeah, up next it will be the first match of the night. It will be Dragon Lee and AJ Styles versus El Grande Americano and Dominic Mysterio up next in a tag team match. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that when the show first opened up on the air, they did announce that Naomi is injured and that she can't be competing against Io Sky tonight because it has a scheduled match. So yeah, that match has now been canceled, and yeah, we don't know what's going on with the Women's World Championship, so hopefully it's not that bad of an injury. But yeah, that's what happened there. But yeah, up next is the tag team match, so yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So, the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, we get to the next match of the night. It was the first match of the night, actually, was El Grande Americano and the Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee in a tag team match. In this match, it was a pretty good one. Both of these teams going back and forth and everything. At one point, a cameraman got taken out with Dominic Mysterio over the barricade because of AJ Styles. But then there was some cool moments in this match. Like at one point, we actually see Dragon Lee hit a monkey flip onto Dominic, and then AJ catches him upside down, hitting the Styles Clash. So yeah, monkey flip into the Styles Clash. That was pretty damn cool. But then El Grande comes back into the ring. He's trying to take control of this match and everything. And then at one point, he was trying to grab the metal plate and put it inside the mask. And by the way, Dominic was wrestling with the mask on for a little bit, but then he took off the mask and everything. Forgot to mention that part. But yeah, AJ kicks El Grande upside the head, and El Grande drops the metal plate onto the floor outside the ring. Well, El Grande and Styles going back at it, back and forth and everything. We see Dominic throwing on the mask once again, and then he grabs the metal plate, putting it in his mask. He gets up on the ring apron, headbutts AJ Styles with it, and then that's where El Grande comes up, rolling up AJ Styles for the 1, 2, 3, picking up the win. So yeah, El Grande Americano and Dominic Mysterio defeated AJ Styles and Dragon Lee tonight in a tag team match. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good tag team match for that match. I'll give it 3.5 stars is what I'll give it. But yeah, that's what happened there. Dragon Lee got pushed off the top turnbuckle by El Grande during this match, getting taken out for the rest of the match. But yeah, that's what happened there. But then earlier today, we see a backstage segment with the Raw General Manager Adam Pearce and Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn wants to go after the world title, but then Adam Pearce says that he needs to deal with Rusev before he focuses on the world title tonight. And Sami Zayn says okay, but then Sheamus comes up, and then Adam Pearce tells Sheamus that he'll need a repeat for what happened last week on Raw. And then Sami was asking Sheamus as a friend to not interfere in his match tonight, and then Sheamus tells him that, he won't interfere in the match, but he says the second that match is over with, he's going to beat the hell out of Rusev. So yeah, that's what Sheamus tells him. But yeah, up next it'll be Rusev versus Sami Zayn one-on-one up next on Raw. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, we get to the next match of the night. But before we talk about that match, we got to talk about a backstage segment where we've seen Io Sky talking to the Raw General Manager Adam Pearce backstage because Io Sky is all upset because now she won't get her women's world title match against Naomi tonight. So yeah, that's what she's upset about. And yeah, Adam Pearce says that that match had been canceled because Naomi's not able to compete, but he'll get more word about her later on. But then then we see Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez coming up, and Roxanne pretty much wants to go after the women's world title as well. But then Io Sky pretty much says that, how about we have a match tonight? And then Adam Pearce makes that match official. So yeah, that's what's going on there. And then after that, we get to the next match of the night. It was Rusev versus Sami Zayn one-on-one. In this match, it was a pretty good one. It was back and forth and everything. At one point, Sami was trying to hit the haluva kick on Rusev. Rusev counters that into the Moscow kick, getting a 2 count out of that. Rusev was trying to lock on the Accolade multiple times in this one, but Sami kept on fighting back. But then at the ending, we see Sami hitting a exploder suplex onto Rusev in the corner, and then he was setting up for the haluva kick up until he got drugged out of the ring by the MFTs, which caused a disqualification. So yeah, Sami Zayn defeated Rusev by disqualification. So yeah, we see Tonga Loa and Jason Mateo beating down Sami Zayn with the United States champion Solo Sikoa right there. They held Sami up until Tall Tonga hits a big boot on Sami, laying him out, and security's dealing with that. But then on the other side of the ring, we see Sheamus coming up, hitting a kneecap on the Rusev, laying him out, and then security was trying to stop him, and he's beating down security as well. And then we see Rusev and Sheamus brawling, all at ringside, going through the crowd, brawling as well. So yeah, that's what happened there. And yeah, that was the end of that segment right there. But yeah, for the match, what happened after the match, I'll give it all 3 stars. That's what I'll give it. But yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Monday Night Raw. See you guys later. Till then. So, the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, we get to the next match of the night. But before we talk about that match, there was a couple of segments that happened backstage, actually. So, yeah, we see Adam Pearce dealing with the MFTs, trying to kick him out of the arena and all that stuff, so security's kicking them out. And then, a referee comes up to Adam Pearce telling him that Sheamus and Rusev has now stopped brawling backstage, and he says, good. And then, we see Grayson Waller and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, the New Day, coming up, and they started complaining and all that. And Adam Pearce was getting sick and tired of the complaints, so he pretty much tells Xavier Woods that he got some match up against Penta next week. So yeah, that's what he tells him there. And yeah, then after that, we see Io Sky walking backstage, going to the ring, about to go to the ring, and then we see Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, standing right there, and Io Sky is talking to him, and they was talking about how if she wants her at ringside, and Io Sky tells him that she's all good, she'll be dealing with this all by herself. So yeah, that's what she says there. And then we'll get to the match. It was Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez with Raquel Rodriguez at ringside, the Judgment Day. In this match, it was a pretty good one. It was back and forth and everything. Both of these women was beating the hell out of each other. It was a really good match, coming up near falls a lot of times in this one. At one point, we actually see Raquel getting, interfering a couple of times, and then Io Sky taking care of her, hitting a moonsault on Raquel and Roxanne at the same time off the second rope outside the ring, taking both of them out. And then Io grabs Roxanne, throws her into the ring. She climbs up the top turnbuckle, jumps off with the over-the-head moonsault, but it was kind of like botched because her knee comes down onto Roxanne's shoulder, it seems like, or chest. So that's what happened there. And then Io was holding onto her leg and all that. Hopefully she's okay. And then we see the referee distracted by Raquel because Raquel got up on the ring apron. And then while that's going on, we see Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, getting up on the ring apron on the other side. And, they're holding on to Roxanne. And then Io's trying to hit Roxanne, but Roxanne moved out of the way. And then Io stops her tracks so she don't hit the Kabuki Warriors. And then that's when Roxanne pushes Io into the Kabuki Warriors, knocking both of them off the ring apron. And then rolling up Io, grabbing the tights for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Roxanne Perez defeated Io Sky tonight in a one-on-one match. It was a really good match. So yeah, for that match, I'll give it 3.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was a really good one. The crowd was behind it. But yeah, then after that, we see Jackie Redman interviewing Jey Uso backstage, and Jey Uso was talking about how he missed Monday Night Raw last week because he was dealing with family business and all that, but he says that he's going to be handing out receipts really soon to Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And then he gets interrupted by LA Knight because he was talking about the world title, and the LA Knight was telling him that he has to get in the back of the line because he's going to get the world title first. Rematch. So yeah, that's what LA Knight says, and then Jay ain't listening to LA Knight from that. So yeah, that's what he tells him. He says, nah, he's going to go ahead and handle stuff his way. But yeah, that's what happened there. And yeah, there's some heated tension going on between LA Knight and Jey Uso there. But yeah, later on in the main event, we'll be seeing CM Punk and LA Knight versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed in a tag team match. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then. So, the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, we get to the next match of the night. But before we talk about the next match of the night, there was a backstage segment where we see Io Sky confronting Asuka and Kairi Sane backstage about what happened. And Asuka was pretty much saying that it wasn't their fault. And Io Sky tells them, they cost them the match. So, yeah, that's what she was saying there. And then Asuka pushes Io. And yeah, Kairi was upset about that and then follows Asuka. So yeah, it looks like Damage Control is definitely breaking up now. But yeah, then after that, we get to the next match of the night. It was the WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree with Natalya and Akira Tozawa Alpha Academy at ringside for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Maxine was doing pretty decent in this match, countering the manhandle slam into a stunner and all that stuff, and try to roll up Becky, but then Becky starts fighting back, locking on to disarm her, making Maxine tap out. So yeah, Becky Lynch defeated Maxine Dupree tonight in a one-on-one match to retain the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. That's what happened there, pretty decent match. And then after the match ended, Natalya was checking on Maxine up until Becky attacks her, hitting her in the face with a boot. So yeah, laying her out. But yeah, for that match, what happened after the match, I'll give it all 2 stars. That's what I'll give it. But yeah, then after that match, we see Seth Rollins talking to Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, and he was talking about how he don't got no problems now because they've been dealing with the problems and all that, and he says that he's going to go ahead and see them next week, so he's going to get on the jet and leave out. So yeah, that's what he tells them, and he tells them to go look in the match tonight. So yeah, that's what happened there. Seth Rollins leaves out. So next it'll be CM Punk and LA Knight versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed up next in the main event, a tag team match. So yeah, that match is up next. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Monday Night Raw. Now, before we talk about the main event, there was a couple of segments that we gotta talk about that happened backstage. So yeah, we see a promo package from Bayley, and it seems like that she is definitely going to be turning heel pretty soon. And after that, we see Jackie Redman interviewing Lyra Valkyria backstage, and Lyra Valkyria says that she did not do nothing to Bayley, and she feels for Bayley, but she is not in the wrong that she didn't do nothing to her. So yeah, that's what Lyra was saying there. And then after that, we see Stephanie Valkyria walking into Io Sky, and then she says that, Io Sky is not the only one that had a title match. So yeah, that's what she was saying there. And then Stephanie walks away, and then Rhea Ripley comes up to Io, and Rhea was talking about how Io didn't do nothing wrong, and that the Kabuki Warriors did not listen to Io Sky when Io told them to stay backstage. And yeah, Io looks at Rhea and says, "I know what you're trying to do," and she walks away. But then after that, we get to the main event, and what? CM Punk and LA Knight versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman at ringside in a tag team match in the main event of tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. In this match, it was a pretty good one. We started getting towards the ending of this match, where Bronson Reed was trying to interfere, but the LA Knight takes him out, and the LA Knight gets taken out as well. CM Punk starts beating down Braun Breaker. He climbs up the top turnbuckle and jumps off with a flying elbow drop onto Braun Breaker, laying him out. And then after that, we see Seth Rollins coming up, attacking CM Punk, causing a disqualification. So yeah, CM Punk and LA Knight defeated Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed by disqualification in this tag team match. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then after the match ended, we see all three guys beating down LA Knight and CM Punk, up until we see main event Jey Uso come running out there with a steel chair, taking out Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Seth Rollins quickly got out of the ring, and then we see Jey, CM Punk, and LA Knight standing up inside the ring, and then we see the Raw general manager Adam Pearce coming out there, and Adam Pearce tells Seth Rollins that he'll be defending his world title in a Fatal 4-Way match at Clash in Paris, where Seth Rollins will be taking on CM Punk, LA Knight, and Jey Uso. So that's what's going on there, and LA Knight was not too happy about that, and him and CM Punk got face to face and everything. They started pushing each other. Punk takes him down, starts attacking him, and the LA Knight starts getting the upper hand at one point. Jey tries to pull LA Knight off, but the LA Knight hits him with the elbow, telling him to get out of his way. And then we see Punk picking up LA Knight, trying to go to sleep onto him, but then Punk gets hit with a spear by Braun Breaker. And then we see Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed coming in there as well, attacking all three guys. We see Braun Breaker hitting a spear on LA Knight outside the ring, Bronson Reed hitting a tsunami onto Jey Uso, and then we see Seth hitting a curb stomp on the Jey Uso, and then he hits one onto LA Knight, and then he finally hits one onto CM Punk, laying him out. And then we see Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed standing tall inside the ring. So yeah, that was what ended off Monday Night Raw. But yeah, for the match and all that stuff, and what happened after the match, I'll give it all 3 stars. That's what I'll give it. For match of the night, I gotta say it was Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez. That match was really great. I'll say that was match of the night. But yeah, for tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw, I'll give it 8.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was pretty decent. So yeah, that's what I'll give the whole show. But yeah, that's been my Monday Night Raw August 11, 2025 reviews. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris McDaniels, and follow me on all my social media accounts. I'll be down there in the description box, and I'll see you guys later for tomorrow night's NXT reviews. See you guys later. Till then.